Welcome back to Mondays in the Mesh. It's not Monday. Second episode, and your host AJ here is already off to a, frankly, expectedly mediocre start. But I'm doing my best. My best isn't very good. But for some reason I feel like this needs to exist, so I'm making it. And I'm also making the rules. So I'm a rule breaker, baby. Anyway, so at the end of today's episode, I'm gonna dive in a little bit to what the mesh is. So if you're interested in the origin of this concept, stay tuned for that. Before that, though, let's get into what we all came here for, all two of you. It's okay. This is for me, all right? And whatever two of you might glean a single scrap of something from it, okay? That's what this is for. Okay, I need to... Crows are squawking and blocking. Squawking and squawking. All right, so grab a coffee. I've got a big kahuna today. World's Stretchiest Dough from May 15th, 2018. Ups and downs, ups and downs. I've been recording my moods and various thoughts in an app I downloaded. It's been good to track. I'm still stuck on the fence between whether my behavior is normal or not. I guess that doesn't really mean anything. I'm just tired. Tired of thinking, tired of analyzing. I'm so sick of giving so much of a shit. I don't understand how I'm going to overcome this right now. I guess the therapy is a good thing in this regard. I have so many things I want to iron out. I know I can't get to all of them at once, maybe not ever, but I'm so tired of going it alone and feeling like I'm going crazy. I'm just so tired. Maybe I should write a poem. I miss writing poems. I miss everything about myself right now. I feel dislodged and floaty, like I'm hovering just outside of myself. I'm so tired and confused. I guess that's enough writing for now. I don't feel better, though. It's okay, though, I think. It's okay to feel like crap sometimes. I guess these are the moments when I'm supposed to remind myself that my thoughts are just thoughts, and I have power over them. That conversation I'm dwelling on happened and it's over. It's in the past now. I can address the issue if and when it arises again. For now, I can only focus on one thing at a time, one moment at a time. It's conversations like that, though, the ones where I feel misunderstood, that scare me. They launch me into overthought overdrive, placing myself 30 years into the future, fearful that I'll be stuck and miserable. I know that won't be me, though. I know it won't, but there's still so much fear. It's suffocating, really. It's holding me back from everything. It's holding me back from thriving in my relationships, from loving unconditionally. It's holding me back from being myself. Recently, when this feeling arises, I imagine it like a sheet of latex held taut by all sides, and I'm attempting to step through it, but can't. I'm able to press into it with all of me. An observer on the other side could see every part of me molded against it, but I can't penetrate it. Sometimes I imagine my hands like they're coated in thick slime I can never wash off. Or maybe it's more like raw pizza dough that's already been rolled out, and I'm trying to pick it up without putting holes in it. But it's so soft and sticky that it immediately begins to take shape around my fingers. But they don't puncture it. The dough just continues to stretch and stretch towards my wrists, but it never tears. That's how I feel right now with everything. I feel like I'm attempting to break through the world's stretchiest dough. And I did a little doodle of that. All right, so first of all, thank you for listening. This one means a lot to me because that metaphor there, I didn't realize actually that I had written about it until I started this project of going back into my journals and whatever. And it's like an internal visual metaphor that that's evolved over time for me. I have this memory of walking home from work when I was in my 20s. And I just felt so like I was trying so hard, just with everything. Like I was trying so hard to feel okay. I was trying so hard in my relationships, like family, friends, romantic, whatever. On the surface, I wasn't trying that hard, I guess, but I felt like it was taking so much effort to do the bare minimum of what I wanted or needed to do, or what I knew was needed of me, or whatever. But I also have this inner world that is so, I've now come to understand that it's very intense. I mean, it's been my normal for my whole life. But in terms of like the ways that it affects me throughout my day-to-day life, and like distractibility and dissociation, like zoning out in conversations and like forgetting things or misremembering things because I attached a visual to it, or on the flip side, remembering things because there's a visual attached to it, or like, being in circumstances where there's like a strong internal visual association with an experience or a place or an energy, and I can't not see that inside while I'm experiencing that thing in the world. So I guess that gives some context to how something like this doughy, world's stretchiest dough, inner metaphor thing came to be. Is like I was walking home one day, and I just like was kind of looking inside my brain, and I just felt like this, like I just wanted to like press, like I felt like I was like so close to clarity and being the version of myself that I wanted so desperately to be, and having the life that I wanted so desperately to have. But there was nothing I could do to get there. That's like, I'm trying to get to the other side of this, whatever it was that was holding me back. I mean, I know what it was, but it's a story for another day. So I felt like I could see this whole other life waiting for me on the other side of this stretchy, doughy wall. Like, let's pretend that this is a big, stretchy, doughy wall, and I'm trying to like, I can like hear people. I can like maybe I can even see above it. I'm like, oh, the weather looks nice over there. Maybe there's like trees, like, I don't know, like nature poking up, whatever. But I just like, I start trying to through it, and it just keeps stretching. It just keeps stretching and stretching and stretching and stretching. And I am never a part of that world. I am always separated by this dough wall. Anyway, I'm on the other side of the wall now. All of that is to say, and that's what I started this tangent with. Oops. What I started this tangent with was explaining how this metaphor has evolved over time for me, and how it went from feeling like there was a wall, or feeling like there was a wall, like I was up against a wall, to then, I guess, the wall becoming this dough, this stretchy, infinitely stretchy dough that I could then hear and see through. It's like I knew what life had to offer now. Like I went from feeling like hopeless to, oh, it's right there. but I'm not there yet, and I know it. Like I feel like I have so much work to do, and I was learning a lot about myself, and I was recognizing a lot about my environment, and I at the same time was extremely burned out, in a way that I didn't even understand or comprehend back then. So I went from feeling like I was stuck behind a wall to this stretchy dough to, like, I remember there was a period of time, and this is 2018, so this is all over the course of the last 8 years, I guess. I kind of forgot about this metaphor for a while, and then it rearose for me one day, or kind of gradually over a period of time. But it was like I was imagining my hand, I think, this time, and it was actually breaking through in the way that dough does. If you like have sharp fingernails, for example. And then it was my arm, and my face, like I could like look in. I was like, oh my god, I can see it. But I wasn't part of that world yet. And now, with this project and all the other projects I have going on at the moment, and this life, dog drinking water behind me. Wow, you're so thirsty. So what I was saying is, now I feel like I am on the other side of the dough wall, but my back's up against it where I feel safest. And I'm looking, and I'm like, all right, there's a lot going on here. There's a lot to navigate, a lot to take in. But I feel like I'm finally ready for it, I guess. And I had to become the version of myself that I am now before I could step into this world. Because when I put myself back in the shoes of this version of myself that wrote this, all I can think about is how much I have learned since then, how much life I have lived since then. You know, you think you've done a lot when you're 25 and on your second job and got a degree and have had multiple serious relationships and studied abroad and, been writing for forever, been like, I performed in college, and I felt like that was a really like big life experience thing that I did. And I had already lived so much life by this time. And then at the beginning of this dough wall metaphor, to feel like I was at the end of something and up against something else that I couldn't get past. Couldn't, like, it was a wall. I was like, wait a second. Like, I had this experience, this revelation, whatever, back then when I was 25-ish, where I was like, it was kind of a coming out of denial thing. And it was like, wait a second, what? Wait, you mean I'm just starting? You mean life as I know it is not what I thought it was? Interesting. So I took stock, and it was like a can't go over it, can't go under it, gotta go through it situation. And then that's where the me trying to press through it, and it's like it's like being hydrophobic and being submerged in water and just wanting so badly to be drenched, but you can never get wet. But that also doesn't really make sense because, well, it's not that it doesn't make sense, it just doesn't match the metaphor.
Where are you going? Where are you going? Can you sit with me?
Yeah, so that's that. The last thing that I want to talk about is just explaining a little bit about this project, how it came to be. So essentially the mesh is my way of giving a name to a very complex, convoluted concept that maybe only makes sense to me, and I fully respect if it doesn't resonate with anyone else. But essentially, it's my own way of making sense of the world and the universe and like energy at large. And essentially I see our lives, the actions of our lives, as contributing to this larger, all-encompassing energy field. And it's like what you put into it, you get back out. And that's how that's how karma works. It's how we're all connected. It's like how, I mean, I find it to be a really beautiful concept, that when we die, our energy is dispersed. And when we're born of a different, whatever, compilation of particles. And in a way, I feel like that's also how we can be reincarnated. It's like we come back the same but different. really it's a metaphor for God in the way that I have always interpreted the idea of God, which is this all-knowing, all-powerful entity, sure, but not a person, more like a blanket. Like, I remember when I was a kid, I grew up Catholic, and there's always this talk of, God sees all, and God, and he's everywhere all at once, and that kind of thing. And I remember as a kid, as someone who's always taken things very literally, I remember being on the playground in elementary school and looking up at the sky like, so God is somehow all... And I'm like, well, he couldn't be like a really big person laying on the earth. And then I started picturing like, basically like a blanket with a head. I guess sort of like the Wizard of Oz, where it's like the face comes from the smoke kind of thing, or like, Lion King, how the face comes in the clouds, that kind of thing. Like God is just in the atmosphere and kind of pops in, But one day in my late 20s, I think I was 28 or 29, 28. I ate a little medicinal chocolate, this kind. I have a journal entry about it, and I'm just trying to think of which journal that was. It was a small one. Little composition one. Okay, never mind. I didn't write anything, but I did find these sketches because I thought of it as a tattoo idea. Now I'm remembering that. Anyway. So the mesh is God, the mesh is karma, the mesh is spirit guides, it's ancestors, it's past lives. Essentially, in my worldview, the mesh is what steers my internal compass, my decision making, and it's also what I scream into. It's the void I scream into when I am journaling, and it's the one that I write gratitude letters to and that I pray to, and there are times where it speaks through me, I feel. And the reason I feel that is because as I've been rereading these entries, there have been so many circumstances or situations where I'm like, I don't even remember writing that, or like, holy crap, I wrote that. Or I'll kind of take on like another voice a bit, and I'm not, it sounds kind of spooky when I put it on, when I say it like that, but really what I mean is I just have this feeling like talking about it and sharing my conversations with it might resonate with some people or give some shape to people who might be feeling nebulous right now. It's essentially this piece. This is the best way of summing up what I'm trying, the message I'm trying to convey. It's like, if you don't believe in God, if you don't believe in karma, if you don't believe that that your actions have an impact on the people around you or future generations of you. At least do this. At least consider this. Well, I guess this was a big kahuna. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you for watching. Thank you for reading. This is really fun and really terrifying. So anyone in my life who knows me and is thinking, oh, here Amy goes oversharing, I'm sorry. Unfortunately, I have been fighting this for a really long time, and I'm just giving it a shot now and seeing if it sticks. We're just trying things. We're just trying, okay? Failure is part of success, so if this is a huge flop, it'll still be part of my success story. Good night and good luck. And mesh speed. Alright, my dog's fucking adorable. Here. End it on him. He's cute as sneakies. Hi, sweeping baby. Hi, sweeping little donut boy. Sweeping little sausage boy. Okay. Thank you. Cheers. Goodbye.